had a couple people ask, how did you know that you wanted to go into visual effects? You mentioned starting as a page. Was it something even before that you knew, or did you slowly
I didn't know.
realize?
No, I was going to be a big writer, director, something like that. But then I liked the job initially because it was brand new when I started out back in the early 90s. Nobody was really doing this, and you couldn't do it how we do it now, where you have a bunch of laptops and desktops, and you can crank it all out there through After Effects, Nukes, and Maya, and all that stuff. It just didn't exist back then. But the other thing I liked about it, you were on in pre-production, post, and during production, so you got a bigger paycheck. So at the time, you don't make money first off in this business at all when you start out. And then over time, the technology grew, and you could do a lot more. And you get to go to set more, and you have more influence. You keep rising up. It was a good career move to go to here and just stay with it. Because in the end, it's TV. There's something new every week on the show, so there's something brand new that you're doing. It's not like when I did features, where you work on it for 9 months, a year, and you look at the same shots for all that time. So yeah, TV's great.
So, and in terms of that, when you talk about how the technology has changed, do you also sort of need to be innovative? Like when you come up against something new, you have to think of a newer, quicker way to do it, or is it kind of everything is already been invented?
It's really the two things about being innovative on this show or on any show is how you shoot it to make sure you don't get in trouble. So,
which is why you're here with us today, because
exactly.
you're here on the day, obviously, when we do these things.
Yeah, there's certain areas that if you do it wrong, it's going to take, what could take 2 days could take 5 days. And I talked about the turnaround earlier, so there's always that. The other is technology, and that we have a whole group back at Stargate that handle all that. And then again, when I bring shots in where I'm looking at it going, okay, it could be this, there's a bunch of other artists who will just approach me and say, if you, instead of doing this, you try this, this, and this. And again, it just comes down to very creative people being able to solve the problems. And back at Stargate, we work as a team there, and everybody's involved, and it's great.
Yeah. Let's do a shout out to the Stargate guys. They rock. We love them. Okay, so what is the best thing about your job? I mean, other than your great team and the fun and innovative things that you get to do, and hanging out with me.
Yeah, well, that is. I like coming to set. I mean, I really do. It's fun. It's gets me out of the office, and when I come here, there's always something new going on. It's a lot of fun to come to set. The other thing is the meetings at Gray's. I mean, they're really fun. I mean, it's when you come here, there's a lot of joking around in the meetings. It's not very serious.
That's not true at all. We're very serious. We do not joke at Gray's.
I know, but when we do the visual effects meetings, there's a lot of comedy. Yeah, there's a lot of funny things. I remember last year when we were doing the bridge episode, we were trying to figure out location and what it's going to look like and all that stuff. And we had a meeting on a Saturday, I think at like 1 or 2, and I was running late, like a half hour late. And I walk in, and everybody's talking, and Rob just looked at me and said, "Well, here's the guy who's going to solve all our problems." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
No
and then,
pressure.
Laughter breaks out. And it's just relaxing. It's a lot of fun to come here and hang out with you guys and work on this show. Not just to say that, but it is. There's a lot of good people here. A lot of good people I hang out with outside of work here. It's like a family here.
Someone just asked, for lay people, what is a shot? Now, because you and I, of course, know what that is, but let's go ahead and tell the good folks.
A shot is a visual effect shot. Basically, technically, budgetarily, it's one cut in the show. So let's just use like Arizona walking around without her leg. If you have one shot of her walking across the room and we remove her leg, that's a shot, or a visual effect shot. It's not like a bar shot or anything like that, but it's that's what we refer to it as a shot is short for visual effect shot.
Very good. So now, what sort of advice would you give to somebody who was thinking they'd like to do what you do?
Get involved, get at a visual effects house. You're going to start, as a PA or an intern or something like that, or whatever you can get in as, and just stick with it. You'll make it if you stick with it and you're dedicated and you'll do it. It's just a matter of putting your time in. You'll climb the ladder if you can get in there. Visual effects is growing. When I got in, there was very few houses. There's very few people doing it, but now they're all over the place. Competition has grown in the last 10 years immensely. I mean, we see a lot of the shows that we would normally be doing. We're not doing it because there's a lot of really good facilities out there, all over town, all over, in Canada, throughout the U.S. and Europe. There's places everywhere now. So if you want to do it, there's places. You just got to get involved.
Is it worth it to go to school? Now, did you go to school at all, or are you self-taught?
No, self-taught visual effects because there was no school or anything.
Right.
But now I know there's all kinds of schools where you can go and learn After Effects and Nuke and all that stuff. I never wanted to be an artist. I didn't want to sit on a box. I always wanted to, I got to be out moving around. Always wanted to be on set. I wanted to be in the meetings. I want to kind of handle that area of it. Sitting on a box is something I don't think I could do for 12 hours. I don't know if I had the patience or the ability to sit still that long. So, but just stick with it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see if there's anything else we could ask you.
Come on, ask questions. Throw them out there.
Favorite one was, well, a lot of it's spoiler. The problem is the stuff that's in the forefront of my mind now is stuff that nobody's seen yet, so we can't talk about.
Yeah, can't talk about
okay,
that.
Here's an innocuous question. Do you watch the show?
No. True story. Season 4, I was in a meeting, and they were asking me about the characters, and I had no idea who they were talking about. Actually, during the ferry boat, I was actually texting a friend of mine asking who, like, McDreamy was, who Gray was, because I had no clue. And in Season 4, they actually asked if I read the scripts, and I said, well, I read the portions of the scripts where the effects are, but I don't read the scripts. And I think the only time I watch the show is on Thursdays if I'm here shooting and we have
and you
crew
come
lunch.
To the screening because you'll go anywhere for free food like the rest of us.
But you know what? The most amazing thing to me is I've run into people who find out that I work on Grays, and they're in their early 20s, and they go and they watch a show on Netflix now, and they'll start Season 1, and they will watch it to Season 5 in like 2 weeks, and you just hear them talking about all these episodes, and I'm just like, you're really into that? I thought the show was older, but with the younger crowd, the 20s and 30s, they just binge watch this show, and it's not surprising it's still in the air, because when I'm here on the Thursdays and I do see it, it's a great show.
It is. It's a pretty good show. When you started working on a show, did you find... Okay, someone's asking, when you first started, did you find anything difficult? I mean, other than doing a ginormous ferry boat crash.
Yeah, the turnaround. But, you know, when you start a new show, it's always difficult to understand everybody and understand the difficulties of the show. But, you know, here it was really, really easy. Again, working with you guys, you take you under the wing and there's no problems, it's really nice.
So can that be an issue, getting the communication factor, understanding what it is that your show wants from you sometimes?
There's a lot of
times.
times.
It's sort of a ethereal, until they see it, they don't know kind of feeling?
There's a lot of times there's okay, we know what we want, but we'll know it when we see it, so can you give us something to look at? And so you kind of have to guess that, and then when you turn it over, you kind of break it down from there. This show was different. I mean, when we first started turning over shows, Rob asked me, like, what should we look at? And I said, well, cut it in the show, see how the effects play with the rest of your show as if there were no visual effects in the show. Does it work? Does it not? We'll fix all the technical issues and the stuff. Don't worry about that. But, see how it plays in the show and see how it works out.
Right, because you don't want it to be propped up just on visual
exactly.
effects.
Yeah,
because we've all seen those type of
I know.
shows.
We try to stay away from those.
Okay, well, I think that's it. We should probably let you get to lunch because you are actually working.
Yeah.
And,
well, we did have Taco Guy today. This is the one reason I show up, for sure.
That's right, because you missed Taco Guy last time.
I
and
did.
I think we probably had Taco Guy just for you.
Yeah.
It was like we saw you on the call sheet and Taco Guy appeared. So
the ADs on the show text me when Taco Guy's here, and I will drive over here and make special trips for Taco Guy.
Just for Taco Guy. It makes it sound like all we ever do is eat, which is true.
I gained 20 pounds a year on this show.
Anyway, thank you very much, Scott Ramsey, for joining us. Thank you guys for tuning in and asking questions, and we will, I think, see you very soon.
Thanks, guys. That was cool.
Show my feet. We can turn this off.
Do it that way. Actually, I wasn't quite sure what that would be.